What's up, New Jersey? Let's continue the NJ1ST podcast series that will remain exclusively on the NJ1ST Instagram page. Almost have 1,600 followers here. Remember to follow on Instagram, as well as the NJ1ST podcast YouTube channel that I newly created. Remember to subscribe here, get the long version. Some people like YouTube better. This video is going to be about the 2023 North New Jersey primary that's coming up, the one that's going to be most appetizing to pay attention to. But first, we have a New Jersey Globe article, and it is about the vote machine tabulators. So, vote machine tabulation error shifts one local race in Monmouth after something was discovered. So, these vote machines, the ones that count the votes, and ES&S machines has system error that remained undetected for 2 months after an election. So because something remained undetected for 2 months, they looked into it, and then it overturned a local board election, a school board election, I believe, in Ocean County, in Ocean Township. So the Attorney General's office has advised the Board of Elections to recanvass and recertify the results of the November 8th general election. The New Jersey Globe has confirmed. Steve Clayton defeated Jeffrey Weinstein by 20 votes. This was on November 8th. He took the oath of office, even took the office this month. But a new tally was conducted today, shows that Weinstein was ahead by 1 vote. He didn't get defeated. Weinstein won by 1 vote. So both candidates were advised on the issue today. This article is written 2 days ago, January 17th. They were both advised on the issue, and the final results are unlikely to change in, there's 6 or 4 voting districts that are in question, and there's only one really that changed the outcome. So they only have to look at the one. It was simple. Case shut, closed. They overturned it, and Weinstein is now on the board. But it still brings into question for ES and S. Well, he will be on the board soon if they go through with that outcome. But ES&S is the company that sold these tabulators to Monmouth County Board of Elections. They sold them a software program that was manufactured by Electionware that scans the tabulator machines. And the ES&S said that they will reinstall the election management system that will ensure that the system is optimized to detect and block duplication of USB flash media results. I don't know what any of this means. All this really means is that, there is troubles that happen in elections when you're involving technologies because there's going to be so many people voting. So they try and involve technology to make it easier and accommodate to everybody. But the tabulators are not foolproof, it seems. The problem in Monmouth County was not detected by a post-election audit. So there was even an audit that occurred. I believe in New Jersey there's an automatic audit process that is lackluster and just is in place for them to say that they have audited, that they're taking the responsible approach. But right here it says the problem in Monmouth County was not detected by a post-election audit. Oops, guess they missed it. Voting machines from ES&S are used in about 1/3 of the counties in New Jersey. This is not even Dominion Voting Machines. It's another company. The Attorney General's office, which represents all 21 county election boards, does not appear to have contacted any of the other counties to advise them that the vote tabulation system in one county was flawed. So you would think damage control, right? I know that the Attorney General, there's been a couple that were replaced in the last year for the same kind of ABC rewards that the Kareem Jean-Pierre is in place for the press secretary for Joe Biden. But there's still an Attorney General, and they didn't notify anybody in the other counties that this one county had a post-election error that wasn't even caught in the audit. That's dropping the ball big time. Nobody has brought this to my attention. I'm disappointed and dismayed, said the Sussex County's clerk, Jeff Perrott. It's unacceptable to me. There was a big error, and they didn't notify anyone else so that they could look into it to see if there was an error. Maybe they should be looking into it harder themselves, but It says a lot. You can look up this story yourselves. It's just to say that there is mishaps that happen in the election. We do need election integrity. It's not people that are crazy calling for it. It's on both sides of the aisle. And you shouldn't be calling anybody crazy that wants fair elections. That's what it's about. It's not about making anything expedited or easier. It's about making it fair. And that's an article. You can look that one up. And to move on and right away for the primaries that I was talking about, North New Jersey in LD24. Dawn Fantasia is teaming up. She's putting the line in the sand, saying you got to vote for us. Yeah, 2 people on the ticket for the assembly. So these are the 2 that you got to vote for: Dawn Assembly and Dawn Fantasia, and Mayor Mike in Gananamort. It's a cool last name. But I don't like this approach. They're, again, putting the line in the sand, saying we're the ticket, we're the people that you want to vote for. Don't split the ticket. Don't vote for any other single candidate that doesn't have a running mate. Vote for the 2 that has a running mate. So we went in the primary and we go on to the general. No, I had a conversation with her. I don't know why it wouldn't even have been Josh, but the politics there. Mike is probably a fine person, and I'm going to go to the website in a second to look it up. But let's read it right here. For immediate release, conservative leaders with deep roots in the 24th Legislative District, County Commissioner Dawn Fantasia and Mayor Mike Ignanamort are running for state assembly to protect New Jersey taxpayers and defending families. Learn more at their website. Let's go to their website. It's the same picture. It's nice. Okay. Yep, contact. Okay. Down here, About Dawn. You can find About Dawn. She's got a family, or she's got kids. About Mike, I don't know her Dawn's situation at all. Here's Mike. I don't know if he has a family. Mike and his wife Lauren met at Sparta Junior High School. Mike was elected Sussex County Republican Committee at the age of 18, and he earned a bachelor's degree in political science, same as me. So nothing. I've never heard of him. No, never really heard of him. But he's a mayor, so he's got the executive experience in that regard when it comes to, I guess, board meetings. It's all really a mayor is, that and taking photo pictures around the city that you live in or town. Being a leader, I suppose. So hey, that's an option if you want to choose them two right away and split it and put your eggs all in one basket. Go ahead. District 24, Warren County is where I'm from. It's only 2 in there. We got redistricted out. We were with them before. So it's mostly Sussex. If Sussex wants to draw the line in the sand and pick them, go ahead. But I recommend that Sussex, the majority are Sussex, and we got some Morris, choose Josh Aiken. Josh Aiken is proven. And I'd say maybe choose him like en masse. Choose him, tell everybody to pick him, and then pick one other person, rather than what Dawn and Mike Ignanamort are trying to do, which is, no, you don't pick one person that you like and then one person you don't like. You pick the both ticket and just push them through. I say pick Josh and then pick another person. Josh has proven himself with the Arise New Jersey. Dawn Fantasia has proven herself with the Sussex County Freeholders. So, again, if you ask me, I would pick Josh and Dawn. I wouldn't pick Dawn and her running mate. I don't know why she's doing this. I really don't care. It's her move. It's her chessboard. It's her election. But I'd pick Josh and Dawn, I'd say. And then make them work together. So those are the towns and cities and townships in the counties for LD24. That's the election campaign for the next 6 months that I'm going to be looking at on this NJ1ST podcast series and getting into. I saw that Josh Aikens, again, the person who I'm supporting, where did he go? He went to Hardyston Hardiston, I believe that's how you pronounce it. He went to their Republican township meeting to announce his campaign, as well as, where was he? He was in Mount Olive, which is another bigger area. Mount Olive Republican Township, Republican City, their campaign, or to announce his campaign at their local meeting. So he started that, and he has an official campaign kickoff February 9th. You do have to pay $75. I'll see if I can scrounge that up. I definitely have it. I just don't know if I want to pay it just to give to him for yard signs. I'd rather help him in other ways, like make these videos and tell people that I support him. I don't want to have to pay this $75 to go. But I might do it just to make an olive branch, I suppose. So Josh Akins, that's who I'm supporting. If you have any questions why I'm supporting Josh, I can explain in longer format. And I've went to his events, and he's been with the Sussex County Young Republicans for a while. Here's an article about it. The Inner Workings of LD24, January 18th. It was yesterday released. And it's talking about exactly what I went into, talking about how Dawn Fantasia, the Sussex County Commissioner, is running and just announced that she is doing so with Michael Ignagendemort. Also expected to run Josh Akins and also Robert Kovich, which I have right here. And this article says that the Senator Arrojo is not getting involved in the primary, and he's leaving it to the voters to decide who runs with him. So, again, the ticket is kind of saying we're a package deal. You get to decide, but we're a package deal. You don't like one, you like the other, well, we're a package deal. However, for Josh, you get to vote for him and then maybe choose the second better one that you like. Again, right there, I would choose Dawn. I wouldn't choose Mike. Senator Rojo says he's not getting involved. He's leaving the primary up to the voters. But I have right here, January 9th, 10 days ago, Senator Arrojo with Jason Sarnowski. And they're talking about their hopes for 2023. What could be coming up if New Jersey, if Commissioner is going to be running for candidacy. I don't know. I would look into that WRNJ radio episode. And again, Robert Kovich, he tried to take on Mikie Sherrill. He tried to take on Mikie Sherrill in 2022, just this last year, but he did not even qualify. He backed out. He qualified. He would have qualified to run, but he backed out. He didn't even primary anyone. But it looks like he's tossing his hat in again. Maybe he'll back out again. I don't know. But for Assembly in 2020, in LD24. And he is someone who's not really from that district, but he got redistricted into it, I believe. So it'll be interesting. Maybe, I don't know. Where is he from? I thought he was from, I don't know. Let's see. Does it say here? Robert Kovich. A former candidate for the party CD11. Yeah, that just says that. I don't know. Maybe he has a second property somewhere. Maybe he moved. Who knows? But this is going to be a hot primary for the next 5-6 months up here north New Jersey. And to end it, I have one more thing after this. But we have Mikie Sherrill, who is Congressional District 11, CD11 representative. So that's like over here, I believe, somewhere over here. And it's Montclair Patterson, so Northeast Democrat Congresswoman. And she was at Davos in the World Economic Forum. She's right here. This is Salazar, which is a Republican down in Miami area, I believe. This is Sinema, which is the independent now in Arizona. This is Manchin, I think the West Virginia person that fooled everyone thinking there was a conservative versus Republican. These two, right, were the people who stood up to the Democrats. Right here is the Chicago, what is that, the Chicago governor, maybe? The person who was a hypocrite during the pandemic. He traveled or put his family on a plane and put them on an island away from everybody that was getting sick. This is Brian Kemp, Georgia governor, I believe, as well. Republican. I think conservative, maybe. People call him Rhino and Neocon because he didn't bow down to Trump. I wouldn't really say that's admirable because look where we are now. So, and the election was stolen. The election was, and there was fraud, as we just saw in the article right here. Happens all the time. Audits need to happen. And again, in 2021, we did Audit the Vote New Jersey. We served our congressman now, Tom Kean Jr., and he ignored us. Well, guess what? Even with audits that are legally in place for New Jersey, it doesn't catch it. So we need to really take our elections integrity seriously. And here is Coons. I forget his first name, but Coons. He's from Delaware, I believe. He beat, what's that beautiful woman's name? Lauren Witzke. She was in Delaware and lost in the primary to this guy, or in the general. She won the primary. That's right. She won the primary against the Delaware GOP establishment, I believe, as the senator candidate, and took on this Democrat Coons guy who is anti-white, anti-American, just completely pro-Democrat, anything Democrat Party, internationalist, globalist. And he won. She lost. And now she's just on Instagram posting. But in the movement still, I guess, in her own movement, whatever. But I want to fast forward to 21, where Mikie Sherrill speaks. And then let's listen to what she has to say at the World Economic Forum. And I don't have to explain to any of you what that is. That's the globalists, right? That's the technocrat, futurist globalists that are going to be trying to plan our futures with the billions of dollars that they have, because they can do that with the capital. And we're all at the whims. It's either you're in Africa mining for the cobalt for the iPhones, or you're in America getting data mined for the iPhones. Let's see, was that 21? Obviously, us in America and in the first world have it better than those in Africa and the third world. Okay, let's play this.
No, I think we don't envy Kevin McCarthy to keep that group together. I think that's going to be challenging. But turning to you, Congresswoman Sherrill, you saw what was unfolding for those 3 days, and I started to ask Senator Coons how he sees the possibility to get things done.
They're talking about the House vote that just took place where they were choosing Kevin McCarthy and the, what do they call it? The gridlock. The gridlock. How are we going to get anything done? Like you want them to get stuff done. But let's listen.
Both in the House and in the Senate in the 2 years to come. Do you think that process will have a lot of impact on the environment for getting things done in the House?
Well, I think what we saw was there are really two ways this could go. And one is somewhat dire for the country, and one is really hopeful. And by that, I mean, what we've seen over the past several Congresses, and this is not new, is a reluctance for a speaker to work with members from the other political party. So what I would have loved to have seen in this event, instead of reaching out to the very extreme members of the far right, if Kevin McCarthy wanted to strike a deal with the moderate members of the Democratic Party. That's not something he did. It's not something, quite frankly, Speaker Pelosi was wont to do.
Yeah, well, you ran your campaigns in New Jersey saying you weren't going to vote for Speaker Pelosi. You, Andy Kim, Tom Malininsky, all the, more liberal and not old school, old guard Democrats. You were different Democrats, Yeah, they sure are. This Mikie Sherrill is a Fed. It's definitely the Dan Crenshaw type. She should have an eye patch on herself. I'm going to leave that there. And yeah, she was talking about Nancy Pelosi. She voted twice for her and said she wasn't going to. And her constituents who vote for her, Democrat, really bashed her. And I have all the content. I went to the town hall meetings. At least 3 of them with her, recorded Chinese refugees from the communist China asking for her help, people from her own district asking for help. She ignores them. I've seen it all with this woman. And she voted for Nancy Pelosi, and she's a turncoat. That's the easiest way to explain it. Just like Dan Crenshaw. Dan Crenshaw is a Republican. Mikie Sherrill's a Democrat, but they're both the same. The Uni Party, the Feds, they're of the veteran committees that they have in the Congress. So let's listen more.
Across the aisle. And I think as we've seen the nation pushing us ever more towards moderation and towards bipartisanship with these tight groups of people. I mean, the Senate was 50-50 in the last cycle. We had a very slim majority for Democrats, now a very slim majority for Republicans. The nation's pushing us towards moderation, and yet when you don't have speakers reaching across the aisle, you have them beholden to the extremes of the party, which is, I think, bad for the country and bad for the moderate center. So if McCarthy chooses to continue moving forward with these extremists, I'm very concerned about the debt ceiling and what that might mean for our ability to raise it. However, I think there will be opportunities for all of us in the House to work together to make sure that the must-pass legislation gets passed. And I think that could be really good for Congress and really good for the country.
No, thank you.
Right, she really didn't even say anything. How hard is it to be a congresswoman? Geesh. I really don't even know what she just finished on saying there. She was saying about bipartisanship and how we need to get things passed. No, America, the Congress and Senate, they're always bipartisan until there's a leverage and power when it comes to 2-1. So right now the Congress is 50-50, but it's in the Republicans' hands. They just said when they announced that Leader McCarthy was chosen, the first bill was to repeal the 87,000 IRS agents. Guess what? It doesn't matter. And the Senate's going to get rid of that. And even if it got passed in the Senate, Joe Biden would veto it. So they can go through whatever they want to go through for the next 2 years until he gets either reelected or gets replaced by somebody who's going to run on the Democrat side. So the bipartisanship, the moderate, it's pretty bad. And she came to Davos and World Economic Forum just to say that. It was 2 minutes, but I thought it was only that. But they did ask her one other question. They got her at the end because they felt bad that they didn't ask her anything. Let's listen more.
Quite a distinguished background.
Correct.
Thank you. I was thinking about Congresswoman Sherrill. I had only one question to you, and we know, and at least I know, you also have quite a distinguished background from the Army. I think you even have been a helicopter pilot for the U.S. Navy. And we did speak about Ukraine. We saw Afghanistan pull out. We have seen now that women and girls are not even admitted to universities or schools.
Just right over. The Afghanistan pull out, like we shouldn't have been there, obviously, at all. We should have left. There were people like Dan Crenshaw who said that we should have stayed and pulled out later. Same thing with Mikie Sherrill. She backtracked that and got called out for that. So he just brisks over that, says, we pulled out of there without even thinking that she was kind of against it to pull out just drastically.
Schools anymore. When you look at the U.S. Army with your background and also the challenges the U.S. is seeing from different parts of the world, do you think that the U.S. will continue to keep an army of the size you have today? Because as I started to say, 45% of the global military capacity is from the U.S. Or should Europe, for example, be ready to take a bigger share of this for ourselves?
Seems like something Donald Trump said to all the global leaders in 2018. As well, at the time he was talking about the oil with Russia and Germany. But he was also talking about the military when it comes to Russia. And look where it is right now with Ukraine. Again, Mikie Sherrill supports the Ukraine war. She obviously wouldn't frame it that way, but that's how you have to speak to these people. They support the Ukraine war. They support taking American taxpayer money and giving it to foreign leaders, and it's getting squandered. They support this.
I'm a member of the House Armed Services Committee, and I don't think you're going to have anyone on the House Armed Services Committee suggest that Europe should not be taking on a larger share of the defense community. But Europe is. I think what we're seeing now, for the first time, really, for some countries, such as Germany, really getting heavily invested in the war for democracy and supporting Ukraine. We've actually seen, though, that's not just limited to Europe, what's going on around the world. I was just hearing from a gentleman from Japan about the recent diplomatic relationships and the military relationships going on and building up Japan's defense base, but also in concert with South Korea, longtime enemies, really. So we're seeing people coming together around the world in an understanding.
Remarkable that she did not bring up China. Really? Because I just listened to a podcast, a couple of them, of Jack Posobiec, and he had on people from Japan, activists from Japan, that were talking about the Okinawan Islands, also about these other two islands, but the Chinese influence, as well as the North Korean influence that's coming on them in Japan. She's not, and the communists' influence through corporatism, through this technocrat, futurist, globalist, you will own nothing and be happy society that they are imagining. She didn't bring that up.
Understanding of how important it is with this global realignment that democracies come together to make sure that our defense is strong, really in order to provide deterrence against another Ukraine. And I just want to thank the Ukrainian people for their hard fight. I see Sasha in the audience, who's done such a wonderful job, a member of the Ukrainian parliament. We have had what I call shuttle diplomacy from members of the Ukrainian parliament talking to us all the time about what it's going to take for them to win this war. And this,
I have no words. Squandering our wealth, traitor to America, just involved in foreign entanglements against George Washington's farewell address. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Support from the United States in conjunction with our NATO allies has truly been astonishing, and I think really is a great scene.
Ukraine's not a NATO ally. That's the problem.
Center for the future as we go forward together in supporting national security and deterrence.
Well, thank you.
All right. Yeah, if you want to watch that whole thing, you probably should, because it's all the United States of America representatives there talking in Davos, the World Economic Forum in Switzerland. And to end this episode of NJ First, I chose to ask ChatGPT some questions. I'm experimenting with ChatGPT. If nobody knows what it is, it's the AI interface that you can ask questions, and they scour the internet for information up until 2021, and they have great answers. It's basically what it is. It's to get answers, but the way you use it is the key. The way you use it is what is called prompts. People copy and paste these prompts, and they are just really eloquent rapports, elegant questions, or repartees that you have back and forth with this AI for them to do what you ask. So I'm going to go over this one quick quest I had for this AI. I want you to act as a journalist. You will report on breaking news from New Jersey Republican politics, write feature stories and opinion pieces, develop research techniques for verifying information and uncovering sources, and adhere to journalistic ethics, and deliver accurate reporting using your own distinct style. My first suggestion request is I need help writing an article about New Jersey Republican politics. So I wanted to see what it said back. It said basically it needs more information. So I said, in your article about New Jersey Republican politics, I want you to write about the Facebook page NJ1ST. And that's me. That's the 2018 to 2020 activism that I did. And it gave me a badass response. NJ1ST is a Facebook page that has become a popular hub for Republican politics in the state of New Jersey. Well, it used to be. Now it got banned. The page, which has over 100,000 followers, is dedicated to promoting conservative values and candidates, and is known for its strong support of President Donald Trump. NJ1ST is run by a group of volunteers, who are committed to spreading their message of limited government, free markets, and individual liberty throughout the state. The page features a mix of news articles, opinion pieces, and original content, all of which are aimed at educating and engaging the Republican base in New Jersey. I mean, the AI is pretty good. Writes a very nice article that promotes me. Despite its popularity among Republicans in New Jersey, NJ1ST has faced criticism from some in-state political establishment. Some have accused the page of promoting extremism and spreading misinformation, while others have raised concerns about its close ties to the Trump campaign. In response to these criticisms, NJ1ST has maintained that it's committed to promoting conservative values. This is a weird AI, but it's a well-written essay. Didn't say anything terrible about me, which is awesome, because a lot of people have tried to slander me, but a lot of people loved me. The NJ1ST page, when it was popping, again, that term popping, it had over 50 reviews. It had over 50 reviews, it had a 4.7 star rating, and people liked it. They liked the information. It was getting a lot of views, and it had a lot of followers. Maybe throughout all of the social media, it had that many, but that's ChatGPT. Maybe I'll try and use that for scripts to make YouTube videos. That's one thing that people are doing. Others are trying to make money in the stock markets, analysts or anything, but it's pretty interesting. I'll be making more NJ1ST videos. Please subscribe to the Instagram, the YouTube channel. You can find myself, Ryan McDonald USA, on all social medias, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And thanks for watching, guys.